For whatever reason, many of you have had me on the hot seat for only covering 2 of the 3 noteworthy weeds in this game, and to be honest, I don't actually blame ya. I think we should have turned up the heat ages ago. The thing is, however, if all that fire nettles do is make us nice and toasty inside, is there really even anything more to say? Sometimes things are as simple as they seem. But hey, that is exactly what quick bits are for, am I right? So then, let us run headfirst into every fire nettle that we see for 3 damage each time, or just take a bite out of some fire nettle fronds for even more hits to our stats, yes? Wherever the case may be, though, we will also be experiencing a rise in temperature for a full-blown minute, and trust me, it will overheat us every single time. Unless our butts are in winter, of course. Winter is one of the only times fire nettles are actually useful in this dang game, unless you intentionally stack them every minute, as there will actually be a halfway decent method to counter the cold over and over and over again. For everyone but Wormwood, that is. As yes, our plant friend is quite immune to all this nonsense you just saw. Still, all other players can still safely harvest fire nettles regardless, just as long as they're not too hasty, and the fronds they will be collecting can be eaten up at will until they spoil 3 days later. So use it all to your advantage, folks. Just note that these fire fronds cannot be used for anything else beyond what you have already seen, which is very much unlike their weed brethrens, which is exactly why I haven't covered them till now. But they are still a weed, just like all the other 3, so plenty of their farming mechanics should seem quite familiar. Come the start of spring and or autumn, all open farm soil has a 15 or 5% chance to grow a weed at random respectively, even with no other player inputs. And while that's of note, I imagine most won't be noticing anything weed related until they themselves start to grow crops, as all random seeds do indeed have a chance to become a weed regardless of the season. And heck, as you can see from the table here, the seasons don't even influence the chances at all. But if you're just starting out and have no bloody clue what to look for, here's how fire nettles will appear as they start to pop out of our farms. So study up and get ready for what's to come. That being entirely legal, full-blown weed plots of your own making. All weeds have at least 3 cycles of growth, and all but spiny bindweeds and a bolting forget-me-lots can be repeatedly harvested at their fullest stages to help continue the relatively short cycles for as long as you please. But what's unique about fire nettles, however, is that their cycles reset even if all we have done is run into them. But this will also mean that no other fire nettle fronds will be able to be harvested from the things until they are fully grown again, mind. But if we do allow weeds to complete their cycles and even rest for a time, typically 6 to 8 days for non-forget-me-lot weeds, the suckers will attempt to spread themselves to available farm soil, or just simply onto farm plots overall over and over and over again. Just note that after the first spread, any additional attempts will take 12 to 14 days instead for all weeds that are not forget-me-lots. And while what I'm getting at here is an entire farm of weeds on the horizon, I do have another much faster solution. Fruit flies spawn via rotted plants, giant rotted crops, or the loot of the fruit flies itself. All fruit flies will plant a weed in free soil found, and would you believe it, that also includes fire nettles. And while the process is absolutely going to mostly include forget-me-lots, there is nothing wrong with weeding out any unwanted weeds now and then, so make notes and have fun. As unfortunately, there you have it already, everyone. A long-awaited fire nettles guide for Don't Starve Together that came in quite hot. Ironically enough, they're pretty darn cool and quite useful, but I can't help but feel like they really should have at least one more use just to help them compete with their tillweed and forget-me-lot brothers. Perhaps another non-spoiling, temperature-altering craft of some sort, or maybe even a spicy crockpot food would do at the end of the day. But thanks for watching, folks. Well wishes to all, stay warm out there, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.